Hello and welcome back to Crafters TV. I'm so glad you could come back and join us here for, as it says up there, our Softer Side of Life show. So yes, this is brilliant. I don't think I've presented a softer side before, so I'm really looking forward to that. As long as they don't give me a sewing machine, we're all right. We're all right. Luckily, they're not going to, because we have Becky over here, ready.
Hello.
You're not going to give me a sewing machine, are you?
Do you know what? Just behind you in that cupboard is a sewing machine at the bottom, and that we're going to want you to sew. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That wouldn't be funny.
I think it probably would, because you can sew.
I can sew. I can't sew in a straight line.
Oh no, I can't sew in a straight line. You know, if anything's going on, I just think just goes like that. That's why you need an edge. 1/4 inch seam foot. That's why you need one of those.
I shall learn by that one then. That's perfect. Right, so no, we digress. It is the Softer Side of Life, and we have got lots of fantastic goodies on this show for you. We've got some paper piecing dies, we've got some fabrics. I'm going to look what die I've got down here. I've got some builder blocks, a couple of little bits. We've got a special deal on today. We've got fabric of the week, we've got builder block of the week, as Becky would say. We've got loads and loads of dies. We have got a set of dies for £10, and it's a multiple set of dies. It's brilliant value. We've got buy one get 5 free on your die sets. Amazing. I mean, what more could you be wanting? But the first thing we are going to look at is our foundation paper piecing pad. But I just remembered there's something I need to remind you of. Today, if you were looking at that lovely little VT just before we came live, it's day 2 of our 12 days of Craftmas. So it is really exciting. And if you go over onto our website and buy any 3 Spectrum Noir products, 3, 6, 9, whatever, in multiples of 3, you're only going to pay for 2 of the 3 items. You're going to get the cheapest for free. So pick your bundles wisely, and don't just put a single pen in when you've bought 2 big packs or something like that. Make sure that your 3rd item maximises the free item if you can. So yeah, really shop savvily and make the most of that buy 2 get 1 free on all your Spectrum Noir products. So yeah, really exciting. Now, as I mentioned, the first thing we're going to look at today is our foundation paper piecing pad. So here we go. Now, there are 24 sheets in here. It says 24 elements, but there's 24 sheets, and each one cuts down into multiples in here. Absolutely perfectly. Now, I could pretend I know what I'm going to do with these, and I could look, if I say it in the right tone of voice, you might even believe me. But no, I don't think we should. So, all I need to tell you is, this today is the best ever price. You're going to get this for $19.99 or $24, meaning it's $1 a sheet. Or if you're a Platinum member, the price gets even better, $15.99 or $19.20. But I know a lady who can explain to you how this works far better than I ever could.
Where is she?
I don't know. She left. She ran out to the car park.
This is just an example of one of the items that you can make with foundation paper piecing pad. It's like a tongue twister. As I said before, it revolutionised how I quilted, because I often looked at quilts and I thought, oh, foundation paper piecing too complicated, I won't do that. This made it really simple and easy, and far easier than other systems that I've seen, other patterns. So this is a really good opportunity for you to start doing something different. So if you have a look at this a little bit closer, this is different to the way we would normally put together a flower. So you'd normally cut out that flower shape and you'd applique it on, you'd sew it onto the top. What we've actually done is we've created it out of pieces of fabric, and they're folded over on each other to create those kind of curves. So you get beautiful curves around there, and you can make sort of really intricate patterns. One of the quilts I'm working on at the moment is actually a Monstera leaf, you know, those big leaves. And it is really quite complicated, and you could never do it and make it look something special by using, you know, sort of applique. This is a way of getting these beautiful curves and beautiful shapes in it. And you've got 4 copies of the paper of the actual pattern in the pack of each of those designs. But I'm going to show you how to do it a little bit later. I'm going to make a heart shape, which is like the first one. But just to show you a couple of little samples, this is another one with the butterflies, and you can see they are really, really beautiful. And as you come closer, you can see how they're put together. So you've got all of those sort of overlooking shapes. It's almost like if you were drawing something out using just a ruler and you were trying to get all those curves, this is how you would do foundation paper piecing.
Would you call that a sampler then? Is that,
Yeah, I mean,
this
is a table runner.
Oh, is it a table runner?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
was the other one then? Because it had
This
ties
one,
on it.
this is a sewing machine cover.
Oh, is that what it is? I wondered
So
what
it
it
just pops
was.
over the top of your sewing machine, like so, like so, like so,
Like so.
like so, something like that. Anyway, yeah,
Oh,
more
that's
tidy than
pretty.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could use it for all sorts of different things, and I've got a few samples, Christmassy samples as well to show you on that.
Right, look forward to doing that. So, right, while Becky gets ready to do our first demo, I am going to show you our fabric of the week. So this is a beautiful... I'm not going to sing it every time, Becky. You can sing. You can be my backing singer if you want. What we're going to look at, Becky?
It's your fabric of the week.
There you go. I wonder what else I could ask her to do that she might do. I don't know. I don't know. Right, so these are absolutely gorgeous. Now, they come in 44 inches wide and they are ½ a metre in length, but they are continuous. So if you order 2, you're going to get a metre. If you order 4, you're going to get 2 metres. It's entirely up to you. So what we're looking at first, please? Grasses and silhouette on red. I remember that one. That's this one. I've got them all earlier. This, look at this. Isn't this absolutely beautiful? Look at the colours. Gorgeous autumn tones. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this. And as we said, I'll just open one so that you can see. It's 44 inches wide. There we go, and that's your ½ metre length. Now, if you want 1 metre, just ask for 2. If you want 3 metre and a half, you ask for 3, and so on. And you're going to get that in a continuous length. So this is absolutely perfect. So that's your grasses and silhouettes on red. Then we're going to go for buds on red, which is this one. There we go. This is gorgeous. Now look at how these are all going to work together. Isn't this beautiful? I love the ditzy print. So pretty. Oh, sorry, that's not a very good way to show it. It just looks like a screen full of fabric. Absolutely beautiful. Look at the colour tones in there. Absolutely good. And straight away you can see how it's going to work with the previous one, isn't it? Where you're going to be able to put them together. Absolutely beautiful. So that is... what did we say? That was buds on red. That was buds on red. So next we're going to look at grasses on red. Oh, I know it's that's there. All my little labels are coming off, but I can remember which they are. So grasses on red is this one. It's a very coppery red, should we say? You know, quite a dark, almost brown red. So again, same price. I haven't even told you the price. So it is 10% off each one for ½ a metre. So instead of $6.99 a ½ metre, it's $6.29 or $9.44. Your platinum price is down there, so look at that. We've dropped from $6.99 to £5 and 3p, so nearly £2 off if you're a platinum member, $7.55. Sorry, what was the next one? Grasses on green. There we go. That's this one. I can work these out. Oh, I love this. This is a really olive green. I think that's the best way to describe that. Olive green. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? I think it goes that way up. Really lovely. There we go. So that's grasses on green. And then we're going to do tulips on green. Okay, absolutely beautiful. And so then we have tulips on yellow. There we go. And that's got through all 6 of my designs. So remember, what you're seeing on the screen is your ½ metre length. If you want more, then just multiply your quantities when you put it at checkout. So there we go. So look at all of those colours. I'm going to pick them all up. There we go. All of those today are our fabric of the week. So lots of beautiful autumnal colours, gorgeous designs. I love the size of the print, not too big. It's not going to be overpowering. You're going to be able to do so many crafts. What would you be making with these, Becky?
I mean, I'm a massive fan of Bridgerton. And I think all these colours are very sort of Regency to me. So I would make some nice cushions actually with these.
Yeah.
And I would have them maybe one fabric and then piped with another fabric around the edge, something like that.
Make sure you can see the fabric, see the actual fabric instead of cutting into it and having.
I mean, I'd like I'd like a dress, and the first one, that yellow one, I think that dress would be lovely.
Yes.
Like a ball gown. We were talking earlier, we should be able to wear ball gowns more often.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, I'm going to start wearing ball gowns to work.
Okay.
Possibly not on the train. Difficult to get in and out of the station.
Yeah.
That's what I reckon. But
Yeah.
I think, no,
As long as you've got a big enough suitcase, you'll be fine. As long as you've got a big enough suitcase with you, that's fine. Just let me know what day it is and I will try and... I might not have an official ball gown, but I've got some nice dresses I could wear with you.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Yeah. Pity you're not here just for Christmas. We could just do that as our Christmas treat, couldn't we?
We could.
Right. Now, the next one we're going to do... Oh, I need to reach over here. Sorry, I was too busy talking to Becky to get them ready. So these are your multimedia dies. Now, this is brilliant. You're going to be saving 60% on this one. So this one is buy one, get 5 free. So for £29.99, you're going to buy your daisy die. Absolutely worth it. All day. So these are, you'll see, different coloured to our regular dies. So these are our multi-media dies. So they'll go through your fabric, they'll go through your leather, your faux leather, you'll go through your felt, whatever you want. Now, these are very, very limited because we don't have many of them left at all. So you're going to buy your daisy and you're going to get your chevron free. You're going to get your retro panel for free. Then you're going to get your ellipse panel for free. And we see where we're going this one. This is your flower panel for free. And finally, your leaf panel for free. So you're getting all of those for free. So you are, instead of paying £139.94, which is the face value of all 6 of these, you're going to be paying $29.99, $34.95. But if you're a platinum member, look at that, $23.99 or $27.96. That's good value just for that one on its own. Never mind getting the other 5. But look at that up there. Limited stock, it really, really is, and we haven't got many left. So what we're looking at next, sorry, oh, Becky's, you're going to demo. Sorry, that wasn't very slick, was it? I was so busy talking, I couldn't hear what Jamie was telling me as well.
And what I've got is a few of the samples from using these panels. Now, these panels are really, really good. Now, as Corrine says, you can use them for cutting into leather, faux leather, cards. You could use them for all sorts of different things. So this has just been used as a bit of an embellishment on this bag.
I love that bag.
It does, really nice. This one with some cork fabric works really well. Even with some glitter fabric, we've got some of that here.
So it will no problem getting through all these different materials at all?
No, it goes through like a knife through hot butter. Hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
Because a knife wouldn't go through hot butter.
Well, it would, because hot butter is a puddle.
But you can see you've got all these different things they're cut out, and obviously you've got all these little pieces that you can then use for other things. But I thought this was brilliant. Someone just bought a pair of gloves and then they've used that to create that design here, and I think that's a great idea.
That's lovely, but I would want something on the back of that. Yes. Otherwise, it defies the point of being a pair of gloves.
Yeah, unless you know they're driving gloves.
Ah, they've got driving gloves.
No,
do you have driving gloves?
I used to, I don't anymore.
I've never had driving gloves. I just wear my ordinary gloves or get a heated steering wheel.
A heated steering wheel, that's the way to go. And even using them for little accessories.
Oh, that's
so this has been a little cuff. I would put it around my wrist, but my wrist is too fat. But you can see, or even like napkin rings, something like that. There's all sorts of different options. So what I thought we would do is we would use these for decorating Christmas crackers, because it's nearly Christmas. And we're all thinking, well, I think I want to minimise the amount of waste that I have at Christmas. So it'd be really nice to have crackers that I can reuse year after year. So what I've got here is I've got some felt, which I've roughly cut. I don't need to do it exactly the way I want it. I'll just move that across here so you can see properly. But I've roughly cut it, and I'm going to be using this die here, which is the mosaic panels, but you can use them for all, use any of these. I just thought this one was quite nice, and I like the little pieces that cut out of it. Now, because these are our multimedia dies, they are harder, they are tougher, they are copper coloured. You can cut through multiple layers of fabric. This is quite a thick felt, so I could cut through 2 layers, no problem at all. In fact, I will do two layers so you can actually see how that cuts, so you can see exactly what it's like. But you could use this for all sorts of different fabrics. Now, as I said before, if you're going to be cutting these out of cotton fabrics, you would want to put some kind of stabiliser on there, so some kind of spray starch, or as someone was saying before, they use Mod Podge, just to make it a little bit more rigid, because as they cut through, especially when you've got all those little fibres, some of these little shapes are quite intricate. You may find that it doesn't cut as beautifully as you'd want it to. So you just want to give this a bit more of a stabilising look. So we're going to pop this through the Gemini now, like so. And I'm going to then move it across and do another panel on this side too. But these go through really well, very easily. I'm saying this just in case, you know, sometimes things go wrong, don't they? Like we saw earlier on, you know, my die moved because I hadn't stuck it down properly. So hopefully this will work.
It's not that easy always to stick down onto things like felt though, is it?
No, it's not.
Oh, is that why you're going onto the board as well?
Yeah. And when this goes through the machine, it will make a bit of a noise, mainly because I've got it sort of fairly square on this piece of fabric. But also when it goes through felt, it makes a terrible noise. It sounds like electricity.
Yes.
And it can be quite frightening. It's just the fibres that are cutting within that die. So we'll pop that through the machine and see how that comes out. And then obviously you can fill your Christmas cracker with whatever you like. So in the States, obviously I know you don't have Christmas crackers the way we have with a big bang, because they're indoor fireworks, and I don't think you have indoor fireworks in the States. But do you have crackers? This is what I'd like to know. Do you have something that goes on the table?
Some people seem to do. We had a message earlier that said they have them in Canada.
Yeah.
So there we go, yeah. So we've got lots of people here with us already. Laura's loving my jumper, which is very nice. But Rebecca says, I'd love to see you guys in ball gowns.
Oh, yes, me too. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, well, when we're on together, we shall do this.
There's something about, you know, wandering around. So we're holding up your ball gown and sweeping around the room. I'm looking forward to doing that.
Exactly.
Don't quite know how I go to the loo, because that could be a bit of a challenge.
Couldn't it? Yes.
But we'll be fine. It'll be fine.
We'll manage. We'll manage.
Exactly.
Rebecca told us she fell asleep during our last show. Thanks.
Oh.
Hopefully this one will be a little bit more entertaining and you'll stay awake.
What should we know not to do next time?
But she just loved the idea of cutting through the gloves. There we go.
Yeah,
there we are. Ah, yeah, it was Donna Marie said in Canada we have Christmas crackers, but the commercial ones are pretty sad, not good things in them. And she told us that much earlier, didn't she? There we go.
Because some sort of high-end shops do amazing crackers, don't they?
Oh,
you know,
yes.
I think you can get like a Tiffany crackers with diamonds in them and things like that. I just think, actually, you know, whilst I'm never going to say, no, I don't want any diamonds, I just think there's a lot of paraphernalia on the Christmas table. You'd be devastated, wouldn't you? If you're putting your cracker and then the thing flies out and it lands in your Auntie Maud's soup. It wouldn't work. So I don't think that's the way to go. No. So just in case, Tim, in case you're watching and thinking, oh, I need to buy you a Tiffany cracker, I don't want one.
No, but you'll have your Tiffany diamond under the tree.
Exactly. I do like the crackers, and the kids love the bangs that it makes, and I love the smell.
Oh, I know what you mean.
I really like the smell of the. Is it cordite? That well, like, it's not gunpowder, but you know, that type of thing. I do love the smell. It's like fireworks. I like the smell of fireworks as well. Obviously not while they're lit. I don't go over and sniff a sparkler. Yeah, that would be really, really dangerous. So you can see that's gone through 2 layers of felt, no problem at all. It's not even had a problem with that at all, has it? No, not at all. And this is fairly thick felt. As I said, I think I was talking earlier on, where we've got some felts that we have for making flowers, and that's much softer, much more wispy, I suppose. This is really sort of rigid felt. This is felt that I use for Christmas decorations. I suppose it depends on the content of it, doesn't it? And how much it's compacted. So this is much thicker felt. So you've got those pieces here, but you've also got all of these gorgeous little pieces, which you can absolutely use for embellishing any other bits and pieces that you might be doing. So we're just going to put those to one side at the moment and move that over there. Now what I need to do is I need to make my cracker. So I've got a piece of fabric here which I've cut out. So this is 16 inches by 8 inches. I'm just going to do a very scant what's the word I'm looking here? Not a margin, a seam.
Seam.
Why is my brain not working today? So I'm just going to fold this over. I'm going to use my iron to fold it over, and then I'm going to stitch it together. So I've got that nice edge to it.
That's going to look really high-end, your cracker being made out of fabric.
Oh, thanks.
It's going to look lovely.
I think it's nice to have something that's, you know, then you can personalise them, can't you? There was a couple of years ago that I saw a company doing these little tiny mini books, mini photograph books. Actually, you could do that with some of the dies that we've got here. You could make a mini book with photographs that you've pulled off social media, or perhaps you've done them old school and actually taken them, you know, properly yourself. But you could do a little book for each person at the Christmas table, and then pop it inside your cracker.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Rather than, you know, just rubbish,
yes.
which is what you normally get. Or maybe you want to give, I don't know, maybe you know, silly jokes or a silly hat. I did bring a hat with me, but I seem to have lost that. But it's there's all sorts of things you can do, and I think it's quite nice to have your Christmas crackers that you've personalised.
So is that just a cotton?
Yeah, this
fabric?
is just a standard. This is some of our threaders plain cotton fabric. So I'm just folding it over, and then I'll fold it over again, and then we'll stitch around the outside. So it's a very, very small sort of seam that we're putting here, just to neaten it up. I mean, you could do, you could fold this over and glue it if you didn't want to sew it. That's absolutely fine.
Could you cut it with pinking shears?
Could do, yeah.
So you didn't need to seam it?
Yeah, that would be absolutely fine.
Because that would look lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That decorative element.
Absolutely.
I haven't said we've got a fair few people here with us. We've got Carletta Morris here. We've got Janet Boyd saying hello from a brisk sunny Michigan. Angela Cruz says hello again from Indiana. Sheila Gaunt says hello everyone, as does Laura Hernandez. We've got Rebecca Arnold from Austin, is that Texas? We said Laura. As we said, Rosalind is back here. Oh no, Rebecca said that wasn't me. I was never awake during the last show. That was Rosalind. Sorry, did I get the names wrong? Rosalind, yes. Angela says, I like homemade crackers with hand-embroidered hankies and other homemade gifts.
Lovely idea.
That is lovely.
It's been a long time since I've had an embroidered hanky.
I know.
I'd like an embroidered hanky.
We always used to have an embroidered, with your initial embroidered in the corner, didn't you?
Well, I used to have matching underwear to my hanky when I was a child, so it'd have the days of the week on it. So, yeah, I don't have that anymore.
And did you used to wear them on the right days?
Of course. Of course. Absolutely. No, there's no way.
You're no good you're wearing Friday's knickers on a Wednesday.
No. But, you know, sometimes people are saying, what day of the week is it? And you're like, trying to remember what knickers I put on. I was a child when I was doing this. It's not something I do as an adult. Quite weird.
Oh dear, there's so many inappropriate things going through my mind at this moment in time. I need to stop. Angela Cole says, ball gowns are so fantastic to wear. Don't get many occasions now, but then again, I don't think mine fits anymore. I've got a couple of dresses. I've got a lovely dress I wore for my husband's 50th. He's 64 now, and I won't get rid of it out of the cupboard, but it doesn't do up anymore.
Well, I kept my wedding dress in the plan. I did manage to get it on in between my children. I was like, I'm going to lose all the weight I put on. And then after I had my second child, I was just like, oh no. And I said to my daughter, when you're back from uni, we will get the wedding dress out and you can try it on. But I don't think it'll, no, even she was like, I think it's going to be a bit small. I was like, oh, that makes me feel really good. But now I can't even get a leg into it. It's one of those things. Carrying on with this cracker. So I've stitched down one side, but I've done one already. So I'll start again. So this has been stitched all the way around the outside. So we've just done a really quick, easy seam. But absolutely, as Corrine said, if you wanted to use your pinking shears, you could do that, and that'd be quite an easy way of doing it. I'm doing this in cotton, but there's nothing to stop you from doing this in felt if you wanted to do that as well. Now, I want to make the inside of my cracker. If you wanted to use toilet rolls or kitchen rolls, you just need to take the measurement from them. So just get a tape measure and measure around the circumference of that to use. Ideally, you want 3. So you want 1 to go in the middle and then 2 others at the side just to hold everything together while you put it together, but we're not going to worry too much about that today. I'm just using some craft card. So I just gave it a bit of a roll and then I rolled it up and then I secured it with a little bit of tape So that's all I've done here. You could, of course, make this beautiful with some lovely glitter card. You don't have to use a craft card. And that way, the actual inside of your cracker is going to look really good as well. And we're just going to make sure it does reach round, just folds over, like so you've got a nice, neat edge, and you can use a little bit of glue here. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the decoration on the front. So we want to use one of these little panels. I wanted to have my panel to stretch across the middle part of my cracker. So it goes something like that in the middle, and I'm going to trim around these sides. So I could measure it, but you know me by now, I'm quite lazy. So I'm just going to use that as a little guide, and I'm going to fold that over again, just to make sure I've got it all level, and then I know that that is going to be placed like so. What I want to do is I'm going to just trim using my ruler and using my rotary cutter, trim around the edge until I get a little piece that looks like that, which is going to go in the middle of my cracker.
Look different once you trim it down.
It does.
Looks completely different.
And then you've got these little pieces down here, which I haven't quite cut properly. I just might use my scissors just to trim those little bits. I could trim it even more, make it more even down here. I think actually that's what I'm going to do, just trim that off. You can stick this down with a bit of glue. You can stitch it together. Stitching is what I'm going to do at the moment because it's quick, but it's not going to look as neat as it would do if I glued it. But the glue takes a little bit of time. When you're using felt and cotton, it takes a little bit of time for it to go off, as it were. So I'm just going to trim this slightly. Place that on my mat. And then just trim that so it's neat on both sides.
You don't often have to take much, do you? But it just makes a difference.
No, just down here as well. And it just looks, just make sure it's straight. It's something a little bit different to do with these panels. And I just thought, well, when I was looking at what we had on the show, and I was like, oh, I need a Christmas theme,
Yes.
Yeah, I love a theme. I definitely want a Christmas theme wherever I can. So that was why I thought doing some kind of Christmas cracker was a good option. So
that's lovely. I really like that.
I just
really
do a little bit
isn't
of
it?
stitching down here to secure it in place. But as I say, I would be wanting to glue this if I was doing this at home. So bear with me while I just stitch that together.
No, that's lovely. While you stitch that, we can just have a look at another couple of deals that we've got on today. So this one we have called our Sewing Deal of the Week. Sewing Deal of the Week. And what you're going to get is you're going to get this Tool Tidy totally free. So you're not going to be paying for that. So this is going to give you a 25% saving. If you were buying everything, it would cost you £37.95 or £37.95 or $49.79. But you're not going to pay that today. You're going to pay $27.96 or $36.79. So Tool Tidy comes free. You're going to buy your erasable pens. You're going to be buying your curved scissors. You're going to buy your binding tool, which is there. Hopefully you can see that. And you've got your little sewing clips. And as we were saying earlier, remember, these are really, really useful. Papercraft as well as sewing. So you're buying all those and you're getting your Tool Tidy totally free. And your platinum price today is £22.37 or $29.43. As we say, over 25% saving. Now, the other one we were going to have a quick look at is our fabric bundle. And this is, let me get it right, is your Sew Boho, which is that one. You get 6 1/2 metre lengths in there. Look at the colours, aren't they good? Look at the vibrancy of these. Absolutely brilliant. Not Christmas, but absolutely gorgeous for going into the spring. Now, this is over £35 for that bundle normally, but you're going to get that bundle plus this one, which is our gingerbread lane, which is normally £26 on its own, and you're going to get both of them for £26 or $28, and your platinum price is £20.80, $22.40, which is going to save you, do you say 60%? 60%. That is impressive. Absolutely gorgeous, all half-metre length, loads. You get 5 fabrics in the gingerbread bundle and 6 fabrics in the So Boho. Really, really beautiful, and they all coordinate together. So brilliant, brilliant deal if you're after some fabric. If you know, you can just sit and stroke it afterwards. So that looks lovely. Have you done your sewing, Becky?
Have, yeah. Sorry, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat today. So I stitched that together, so I would have glued that had I been doing this at home, and you've got a little bit of time for it to wait. So we're going to take our little toilet inner or little roll that you've got here. I'll place that like so. Again, you could pop a little bit of glue on here. What I'm going to do for the moment, I'm just going to use a piece of tape. It's not going to be aesthetically pleasing, but I'm just going to hold that in place with the tape while I do the rest of the cracker.
Brilliant idea from Sandra.
Yeah?
Was it? No, it wasn't. It was Julie, sorry. If anyone has Becky in the Secret Santa, they need to buy her the hankies and matching underwear.
I wonder who's got me for Secret Santa. I wonder.
Don't know.
It was George last year, wasn't it, George? It was George. A bottle of champagne.
Oh, that is you to a T, that is.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cough again. Sorry, do excuse me.
Oh, yes. All the Secret Santa presents have to be in very soon, so we will know what we've got very soon. Oh, George said he needs to buy his. I think they're supposed to be in the next about 2 days, aren't they? 5 days.
I haven't quite finished mine.
7th.
Is what I'm going to say for mine.
So do you think we'll be able to
finished.
tell? Is it going to have a sewing theme to it?
It might do.
Oh.
I think when the person gets the Secret Santa, they will know immediately that it's from me.
Right.
And I was quite excited when I got this particular person.
George says, is it him?
George, I'm not going to tell you. It's the Secret Santa. It's secret for a reason.
I brought my present in 2 and a bit weeks ago. I got it straight away and brought it in and gave it to where we had to do it. And they were really going at me in the office trying to find out who I was giving it to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I double bagged it so that they couldn't even see.
Well, I think I'm going to have to send mine in the post because I'm not up here again for another until the 15th, 16th.
Right.
So
George says he'll send you his address.
So yeah, I'm going to have to send mine in the post, I think. So it's
unless
here.
you can get it finished by Tuesday and give it to someone.
I'm not here though. So I am here. I'm here, but the item in question is not here. It's at home.
Yes.
And yeah, I won't be able to get it done, unfortunately.
Jamie's is a handmade pen.
Jamie, is it one of your paintings? I hope I get Jamie.
That's not going to be
Jamie gets me.
I wonder who's got.
How exciting is
lucky
that?
person that's got Jamie.
Lovely.
That was a bit exciting.
Right, so we've almost finished, but it would be wrong not to use some of these. So these are the little pieces of felt that have been cut out of all of those little spaces in
which Sandra says look like the cut-out pieces look like those cheesy cocktail biscuits.
Oh my God, they do! They absolutely do. Now you've made me really hungry again, which is never good. But again, a little bit of glue
that works really
here.
well.
In those places, you know, it maybe you're doing red and green, you know, you're just sort of making them different each time, you know, one red, one green, and then you could absolutely sort of cross pollinate your design. I'm just going to take that piece of tape off. So that tape, it was just there while I put the ribbon on the cracker.
You forgot to put your lovely present inside, Becky.
You do. I didn't put a present inside. I was just looking to see if I had any more cards. But if you have extra toilet roll insides or kitchen roll, you can put a couple of those in there just to keep that shape looking good.
I like it soft and fluffy like that.
I think it's quite nice, and you could, like I say, you could put all sorts of different decorations on here. Maybe you want to use some of the gems that we've got on shows. You could do all sorts of different decorations in here, but it makes a nice different kind of Christmas cracker for you, and don't throw away any of these little shapes because they are just gorgeous to use. But quick and easy Christmas cracker using that panel. And if you buy the set, you've got all of those different panels. Make a different one, just using the same colour. The whole thing looks really good in white. You could even use this as your napkin. So you could just be using your white napkins. You could wrap this around this panel and you can make sort of fake Christmas crackers as part of your serviette art or napkin art on your Christmas table.
I know, I wish I could do fancy folds with napkins,
Can
but
you
no, I
not?
can't. No. I always think I can. Right, now, I just want to quickly tell you, these are very limited stock, so if you want these, then you need to be quick. Remember, you're buying the daisy and you're getting the chevron, the retro panel, the ellipse panel, the flower panel, and the leaf panel, absolutely free. So instead of paying £139.94, you're going to be paying, if you're a platinum member, £23.99. That's a phenomenal saving. So yeah, if you want to get those, then please be quick. They are limited stock. So while you have a think about that, then we're going to show you a quick little VT so you can check out, get that secured, because there's not very many left at all.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. So, join our family of craft experts with live tutorials and demonstrations every day. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products here on Crafters TV. Get creative and craft along with our amazing deals. Your next craft project is only a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week or watch on catch up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook or our YouTube channel. You can chat to us, craft along and meet new friends in our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
You're all our time with each other! You're not through to boot camp. Get off!
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. So, stop what you're doing and enjoy the fun here on Crafters TV.
I have to tell you, every single person works tirelessly behind the scenes, and I can't just give a shout out to one person, because for me it has to be John, Tracy and Jake.
Going to give a shout out to our backstage hero, and I'm actually going to say heroes. It has got to be our product coordination team. It's got to be.
Because without those three people, when we're on air, we wouldn't be able to function like we do. They make sure we have everything we need, right from the samples to the product to having a drink of water throughout the show. They really look after us.
You see us day in, day out, 7 days a week, live on TV. We're crafting away. We're hopefully inspiring you. Every single card, every single product, every single tool that we touch has come from product coordination. Those guys are the unsung hero. They're there making sure we have the products, we have the inks, we have the tools, we have everything that we need. We have the power to actually work our Gemini ranges. The smooth running of behind the scenes of Crafters TV is all down to our product coordination team.
They really are our heroes, are our product coordination team. These shows just wouldn't happen without them. Right, a few more of you have jumped on and said, I'm not keeping up with these comments today. Trinkle's Garden Home and Life says that green could be a napkin. I think Becky was saying something like that. Yep, you could do those. Now, Cheryl said, I just got it on. Are those dies for fabric only? So those were our gorgeous decorative panels. So Becky is just literally tipping everything out of the box that she's got behind her to show you, Cheryl, that they could be for lots more than just for fabric. But it's a die. At the end of the day, it is a die. It's just it has got a deeper blade.
It does. Yeah, I mean, you're not joking when you say you're just rummaging the box. It is devastation behind me. I've just been rummaging around because I've lost part of my project for the next show, but the next demo, but it doesn't matter. So you can see here, yeah, absolutely, you can use them for card, you could use them to make a stencil. You know, there's all sorts of things you could do with these panels. They're really, really good, and they slot together really well. So you can see when I did the earlier one, you can sort of move them together to make a larger panel. Using those to create a little section on a cushion would be really great, but they look brilliant cut out of card as well.
Yeah. Absolute perfect, 75% saving if you want those today, but be quick because we haven't got many left. Cheryl also says, I turned 65 yesterday. Happy birthday, Cheryl. Congratulations. I still feel like I'm in my 40s. Yeah, I'm in my 50s and don't feel like it. Looks like I should get myself a birthday gift today, lol. Fun stuff on the show. Yeah, well, we think that too. So, yes, make sure you buy yourself a birthday treat. If you can't, no one can. Rhonda says, that tool tidy fits very nicely in the second section of the Totally Tiffany workstation. That's good to know. So this is your free, let me pick it up, your free tool tidy here. If you pop it out of the box, then yeah, that will then fit absolutely perfectly, there you go, into your workstation. And all you do is you pop your tools in these little gaps. Now this could be your pens, it could be your scissors, it could be, you know, obviously it was designed with threaders in mind, but it could work for any craft that you have got, you know, your ball tools, scissors, anything that you want in there. Brilliant idea, thank you, Rhonda. And Trinkle's Garden Home and Life says, Becky, she loves that cracker.
Aww.
So yes, lots of love for your cracker coming in today. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is our Build-A-Block. Build-A-Block of the week. Yeah, we all do it. Even Jamie, even though no one can hear it, we're all doing it. Now, this is the East Ham Build-A-Block, and Becky showed us in our 11 o'clock show some lovely examples how you can make this look really quite different depending on how you use it. So there's a 30% saving on here, so you're going to save £10.50 or $11.99 before your platinum price. So platinum price is going to drop right down to £19.59 or $22.37. Now you've got 5 elements in here, and they are quite unusual shapes. You can see them on the back here. So there's something that stands out a little bit different. As we were saying earlier, your regular builder blocks are often your uniform shapes, your circles, your squares and things like this. Whereas with these designer ones, you start to get things a little bit different. We decided trapezium, I'm sure you're probably right there, Becky, diamond, right angle triangle and equilateral triangle or isosceles. I forgot, I used to know all those. Half square triangle.
That's
I like that. That works perfect for me. It says what it is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. And then turn it around, you can see some really, really brilliant ideas of what you could be making with this. Brilliant price. Make sure you get this today while it's got a 30% saving. And you've got some lovely things. They're so bright and cheerful, aren't they?
Are.
In those
They're lovely.
colours?
They remind me of a selection of Tic Tacs.
Yes.
Orange, green and
Mint,
white.
orange and white ones,
exactly.
Yes.
So as Corrine was saying, they are, with these designer collections, they've been created to make particular designs. So rather than with our other builder blocks, we've given you those sort of standard core shapes, and it's up to you how you put them together. We give you some recipe ideas, and obviously with the main builder block, you get loads and loads because you're using squares, half square triangles? Yeah, half square triangles and quarter square triangles, and obviously there's loads and loads you can make with this. These are slightly different shapes, so you can sort of move them around and try and use them in conjunction with other things, but they've been created in order to produce these particular designs. So this particular one we've got here is a runner, so it's using all of those different shapes. So you've got these kind of diamond shapes as well as those little triangles. But using the same shapes, we've also made this quilt. So it looks very different, and using the colours in a different way, you can get that different kind of design. Now with all of these designer builder blocks, they come with obviously instruction guides and all the dies, and it comes with the details of how to make three different projects. So each one has got different projects on there. So there might be a sewing machine cover, there might be a runner, might be a cushion, might be a wall hanging, or a big quilt. There's all sorts of different things in here, but we give you step-by-step instructions in order to how to put them together. Now my ones are well used, so mine look like this. I need to clean these and stick them down with some of our glue pens
Just
to
get a
put them in
magnetic
place.
shim.
Oh God,
Magnetic sheet.
I should do,
That'd be
shouldn't
much
I?
easier.
Yeah, that would be much easier. I've just got so many dies sort of potted around. These are our multimedia dies, so they're copper coloured, so they're thicker than your normal paper craft dies. So you'll be able to cut through multiple layers of fabric with them. So 6, 8 layers of fabric, cotton fabric, would be easy to do. So you can see, just by looking at the picture here, you could cut all of these shapes out to make that table runner probably in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. Much, much quicker than having to use your rotary cutter. Now, with all of these, you'll see that you've got these sort of blunt ends, as it were, blunt corners. That's deliberate. So we've already taken into account the 1/4 inch seam allowance, and we've cut these are called dog ears. So those would be the pieces that if you had a sort of full point up here, that would be a little bit of fabric that you'd want to snip off to reduce the bulk in your quilt. But we've already sorted that out for you. So basically all you need to do is sew everything together and give it a press, and you're ready to go. And when you stitch, your 1/4 inch seam allowance will basically be from this point here to that point there, and that'll be the same on all of those. In your little guide here, you'll have instructions about how to cut the fabric. So we've talked before about grain line. Do you know about grain line?
A little bit.
Have you seen it before?
Yes.
Lots of people see it before and don't really understand how it works. If I grab a piece of fabric, then I can show you what I mean. So grain line is basically, when you think about how a piece of fabric is produced, it's almost like a piece of graph paper, because everything, you've got straight lines and you've got vertical lines and you've got horizontal lines, and that's what creates the fabric. That's what creates that sort of woven fabric that you've got. The grain line is how the fabric, the long line. So basically, when you start producing a piece of fabric, you've got those strips of thread going up and down. And then to weave it, you use a little machine, and you spin through from left to right. And that's called the weft. So the bit at the top is called the warp, and then this is called the weft, and that wiggles in between those different pieces of the warp. And it's important because fabric stretches in different ways depending on how it's being used. So for example, I can tell from this piece of fabric, because I've got an edge to it, I know that this has been on the side. So I know my fabric was produced with that piece, and there'd be another thing at the side. That's at the side of the fabric. So it's almost sort of stitched together on the loom to hold it all together. And so I know that that is my straight line, that is my warp, and this is my weft over here. But if I didn't have that and I need to try and work it out, and I just had plain fabric, for example, the way I would do it is by giving it a pull. So if I pull the fabric this way, there's very little give. But if I pull my fabric this way, there's much more give. So I know the bit that doesn't have much give is the bit that goes upwards. Now, if you see things wanting to be cut on the cross, so a diagonal, that's because you want loads of stretch in it. So if you have a really fitted dress, they're generally cut on the cross because they want to curve around your body.
Is that what you say, the bias?
Yeah, same as bias, yep. Cut on the cross or bias. So that's the way you can tell. So if you've got a little scrap of fabric and you're not sure, just give it a pull. You'll feel one has got less give than the other way, and you can tell from the curve, from the edge, there's loads of curves, loads of stretch there. Now, it's not majorly important when you're using shapes like squares and triangles. It's particularly important when you're using curves, and it's going to be particularly important when you're using things like this shape here. So the temptation when you're cutting this shape would be to get your fabric and just to go, just put it there like that. But you don't want to put it there like that. You want to make sure that you're using your grain line, and so you're cutting that piece of fabric like so. So that angle here is correct. So this angle down here is
Follows the grain line.
along the grain line, so you need to make sure you do those sorts of things.
So in the magazine, you've got the black line showing the grain line.
Yeah.
And then it shows you the picture of the angle that the die should be at.
And basically, when you look at it, you sort of think, well, actually that makes sense, because this one here, you've got that right angle. It makes sense you want that right angle to be like that. You wouldn't want your right angle to be like this, because then you've got your fabrics all a little bit skewed. So it makes sense that it's like that. So you just need to follow that, and you just then run them through your Gemini or any of your machine that you need to do. As you go further through the little booklet, it will show you, it gives you almost a recipe to show you all the different things that you need to cut out. So how much fabric you're going to need. We've just done it in the colours that we've actually made the samples in. I find the best way of doing this is either to make a photocopy of this page, and then I write down what colours I'm going to be using so I can keep a track of what I'm doing, or you could just do that with a heat erasable pen and then rub it out once you've finished and then you're ready for the next time. You do find in here it talks about quantities, and it will say whether you need things facing the right way. So you've got the little asterisk and a double asterisk here. The single asterisk means you want to cut the shape with the wrong side of the fabric facing the die. A double asterisk means you want to have the right side of the fabric facing the die. So obviously if you're using triangles, they'll be in opposite directions. And then it shows you step by step how to put everything together. Now I have pre-cut my pieces and I have started putting them together. But
That was really useful, thank you, Becky. I didn't realise any of that sort of complexity, not complexities, but intricacies.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's useful to know.
And I think one of the things you don't, unless you've learned how to sew, you wouldn't know those things. And then if you think, well, actually, I'm going to give this a whirl. I've got a bit of fabric. I'll put it. No, I'll make a dress or something. And you don't, because you don't know those things, the dress doesn't come out right, and you just think, I'm never doing that again because I'm rubbish. You're not rubbish. I mean, making a dress, my mum is a costume designer. She's been doing it for years. And once I asked my mum to make me a jacket, and she nearly cried. And she was like, I just can't do it. It's just one of those things I can't do. It's too difficult. I don't understand. There's too many pieces to it. Even people that sew, even people that paper craft, there are some bits we just can't do. No. We just can't do it, and other people do them so much better.
It's playing to your strengths, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
So I've pre-cut some of my pieces. So I've already sewn together that diamond with those little triangles on either side. Then I also want to sew these edges. So we've got these, this is like the first stage on the construction here. So we've got this piece here. We want to attach that piece to there. So we're going to sew along that line and then fold it back, and we're going to do the same with this piece here. Now remember, you've got your 1/4 inch seam allowance already taken into account. If you've got a foot on your machine which has got one of those little 1/4 inch seam foots, it's got like a little barrier that goes down the side, it means that you can't sew wonky. You keep straight all the time, and it's definitely worth doing. So I'm just going to put these right sides together, and you'll see everything will match up perfectly. Like
I was just thinking, Crafter's Companion, I know this is Threaders, which is Crafter's Companion. Yeah. Education is so important, isn't it?
It is.
And the booklet there, if you didn't realise, you wouldn't necessarily appreciate how much information is in that booklet, how much is in there telling you how to get it right, helping you all the way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is, it's one of those... do you read the manual when you get something?
Oh, my husband tells me off all the time for not doing that.
Oh, so your husband does, because there is that thing that men don't read the instructions, do they? No. They don't like it. It's like asking for directions. No.
I'm not saying that he does, but if I don't know how to do something, he'll say to me, did you read the manual? And you just look and you went, you didn't, did you? I'm like, no. He goes, go and read the manual.
See, one of my favourite things to do, well, obviously I like to sleep or eat chocolate. No, I like to make IKEA furniture.
Oh, do you?
I love it, because it's like a really giant...
So we could hire you out for a week at a time. Right, come to my house. I've got all my Christmas presents to wrap, and then I want you to put up the IKEA furniture.
Oh my God, that would be like the best thing ever. I always think...
And I'll feed you chocolate and champagne while you do it.
Oh my God. Can we go now?
She'd never leave.
This is the best thing ever. I just think making IKEA furniture is like a giant Lego set. Yeah, and I remember a few years ago, why can I not find my ironing board? A few years ago, I ordered some furniture for my son, and my son was quite little, and my husband was like, oh, I'm not putting that together. And I went, oh, no, don't worry. And he came back, and I put it together, and he was like, well, who did you get in to do that? And I was like, no, I did it myself. And he was like, but how? How? Yeah, I do use a drill with the Allen key attachment on there, just to make sure everything's nice and even and tight. But I love it. I love making IKEA furniture, or any other kind of flat pack furniture. Yeah. It's very therapeutic.
But I suppose quilting is very much like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can see the comparisons.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's
like a puzzle,
yes,
isn't it? You know, you're just putting it together.
Putting all those pieces together.
There's nothing more frustrating than trying to put a puzzle together and the piece doesn't work, does it? And I think if I had to cut these pieces by hand, that would be what happens. You know, there would be that piece in the puzzle that didn't go together. But by having the builder block, you know, as long as you've cut it out properly and you haven't overstretched your fabric, because that is something again that you can do. You can pull your fabric too much and stretch it. There's no reason why everything won't go together the way it should do.
So those are all from our Gingerbread Lane
they
fabric
are,
pack, aren't they? So you've got the Gingerbread Lane and So Boho, but you're just
which is a great deal. And actually, that So Boho fabric, there's one. There's one. It's called Marigold Dot, I think, or Marigold
What
Spot,
in that pack?
In that pack, and it looks like the cover of a Terry's Chocolate Orange, which is my husband's favourite chocolate. Yeah, doesn't it just look like that?
Yes, I can see that.
It's my husband's favourite chocolate bar.
Oh,
so I did think I should make him something.
I've already sent 2 out to France this week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, to my stepdad. If ever I'm unsure what to do, top up his presents with a couple of Terry's chocolate oranges. Yeah.
They are really good. Milk or dark or white?
I got him 1 milk and 1 white ones this week.
Okay. So
but sometimes I'll get him the bags of all the multi ones with crackling in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I do love this. The quality of this fabric, even as a non-sewer, I can tell the quality here. So this is the So Boho. Let me pick it up. And then this one. Can I ask why? You might not know the answer. So there's 6 in the So Boho.
I think that pack actually is fat quarters.
Is it? Right, okay.
On the So Boho, I think that one there we've got is fat quarters, and I don't know whether that is. I don't think that's what we have.
Send out.
No, we're sending out. I think that's just what we have as a sample.
Okay, so it's going to look more like this.
Yeah.
So this is your gingerbread lane.
Open them up, and we can have a look. Tracy's not listening. Tracy won't know we've opened them up.
I was wanting to open them up, but then I thought I've got to stand the wrath of Tracy afterwards. Look at this. Aren't these absolutely gorgeous? So this is the one that you can see our Becky using at the moment. Oops, I'm tinkling my bells. There we go, on my jumper, there we go. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Gorgeous, gorgeous fabric. And you know, when you're making things like Becky's doing now, and if you cut it wisely, you're really not going to use too much of your fabric at all, are you? It's going to last so long. Look at this one. You've got the red, which again, Becky has started to use. I do look at this one. I love this. So this is sort of that bluey green, that duck egg, and its little heart. Isn't that gorgeous? That is so pretty. And then there's 2. Right, so you've got the snowmen and the little gingerbread houses, along with the just regular gingerbread houses. Aren't they gorgeous? So pretty. But can you imagine mixing these in? Look at how the colours just work so beautifully. And again, I'm looking at this one here. Look at those combinations there. The colour matching is phenomenal. And then tie it all together with your stars. Absolutely. So you've got 2.5 metres of fabric just in that one. And that is £26. And we're also going to give you the 6 So Boho, but they will be, instead of fat quarters, they will actually be 1/2 metre lengths on that, which are absolutely gorgeous. Now, I need to... Oh, Becky's disappeared. Are you all right over there, love?
I don't know what's happening today. I've now...
What have you lost now?
I've lost
What have you lost?
Project. I don't understand. I had it here earlier. I'm going to have to make another one. I'm going to use that little strip that I've made here with the fabric. for a cuff for a Christmas stocking.
Yeah.
But I've managed to lose the lining of my Christmas stocking. It's disappeared somewhere. I think it's fallen down the back of the actual counter. So I need to cut another one out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this one as a template, and I'm just going to draw around it. I'm going to use my heat erasable pen when I find it, and I'm going to be using my rotary cutter. So in your you've got the heat erasable pens on the show today, haven't you?
So this is the
tool tidy.
the bundle. So these are the heat erasable. Yep. So this is part of the tool selection of the week, and that gives you the 3 heat erasable pens, the binding tool, the sewing clips, the curved scissors. You can see up there, curved scissors, sewing clips, binding tool, heat erasable pens, and for free we're going to throw in the Threaders Tool Tidy as well, and that is a 25% saving today, $27.96 or $36.79. Now that is key, because when you are sewing, as Becky has demonstrated today, you need to know where your things are, and that little bundle I think is absolutely perfect, isn't it, Becky?
Well,
so
that tool tidy, I didn't realise we just did it as like a Threaders thing. We just, no, it's often on a soft craft show, but actually it's really good for if you're paper crafting or anything.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, you pop all your pencils in there, your scissors, and because it's got like a silicone, almost like a mesh that holds on to all of your bits and pieces. I know somebody had said before they'd called in, they said they use them for storing their keys by the front door.
Oh, how wonderful!
Because you can just sort of stick them in there,
That'd
and
be
it
a
works
clever
really
idea.
well. So pens, your pokey tools, your scissors. You could even fit sort of small rulers and that sort of thing in there. It works really, really well.
I think it would work as well in stereotypical in a garage craft room, a garage with a tool, tool shed. That's the word I was looking for. Tool shed with all the tools in there as well. And you're getting that for absolutely free today. So yeah, a bargain. And I think you'll find it really, really useful. And as one of our viewers said earlier, it'll fit perfectly in the Totally Tiffany workstation.
That makes a big difference,
It does, doesn't it? Oh wow, we've got loads more comments. So Rebecca Arnold says, I love using dies to cut fabric. I wish there was a die for everything. Yes, makes life so much easier, doesn't it? You know everything's going to fit. She also says, it's so awesome that all of the patterns are included in with these builder block sets. And this is what we were saying, Rebecca, that Crafters Companion are so, it's such a key part of our sort of ethos, is that education is key. We're now doing these full education weekends, so you're going to get so much education with everything from Crafters Companion that you buy. Rhonda says you can sew on cardstock with decorative border stitches. It turns out super cool looking, especially on junk journals. Do you know what? I often see this, and my sewing machine is kept in a cupboard downstairs, and I craft upstairs, and I don't have any room in my craft room for a sewing machine, but I keep thinking I'd love to do that. I might get myself a little handheld sewing machine so I can sew onto my paper projects. Yes. Oh, Sandra's come back and says, my son could probably have done with your help this week. He has built an entire house of IKEA furniture since moving into his first house last weekend. There you go. Oh.
We used to have, when we first moved in together, obviously pretty much everything's still IKEA in our house anyway, but when you first get your home, that IKEA is where you get all your furniture from. And I remember my friend saying, oh, I've got to go to IKEA to go and look at some furniture. And his wife went, we could just go to Becky and Tim's house and have a look in their living room. Because it was like everything we had in there was IKEA, and it still is. It is, to be honest.
I've got a massive bookcase. It's lovely.
A Billy?
Yeah, but in mahogany.
Oh, nice.
It's really nice, yeah. Now listen to this. I'm impressed with this. Angela Cole said, my daughter made herself an end of primary school prom dress out of a pack of half-metre fabrics.
Wow.
So is she finishing up primary school and made her own prom dress?
We need to see a picture of that, I think.
That is super impressive. Or is she a teacher at primary school? I don't know. But I read that as she was one of the pupils and she made her own dress.
Wow.
I am super impressed. I wouldn't even try that now, but then my dress would need to be a bit bigger, wouldn't it? Rebecca Arnold says, I love the Sew Boho fabric. I don't even want to use it. No. Becky can give you all the tips you need to know on keeping fabric and storing fabric and just stroking fabric
Honestly,
every now
I've
and
got
again.
boxes and boxes and boxes of fabric, and there's stuff in there that I don't want to use because it's too precious. You know, there's some sort of designer fabric there I just like to look at. And one day I'll make something with it. But it's almost like a trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this a lot. There was a lady who passed away in the US. I don't think she was it wasn't through Crafter's Companion that I heard about her. It must have been through like a quilting group. And she had quilted all her life. And it was during COVID. And what they did to sort of celebrate her life was that her family got all of her quilts and they hung them down the street. And there were hundreds of quilts that she'd made. And so all the people that knew her and loved her could drive down and see all the things that she'd made over the years hanging up in the sunshine. And I thought that was such a lovely
gives you
thing
goosebumps.
to do.
Oh, it
It
just
does,
makes
doesn't
your hair
it?
stand. Oh.
Actually, you know, quite often if you make quilts or you make things, they don't see the light of day. Once you've
No.
made them, you know, it's the act of doing that we enjoy. It's not necessarily what you do with them afterwards. So that can obviously be a little bit of an issue. You know, it was nice the fact that she'd actually got all her stuff out for people to have a look at, which I think was lovely.
Yeah,
really nice
that's
idea.
really nice.
So I've stitched around. This is the stocking.
I wonder where we're going with that. I'm thinking, why had we started this demo? Because it's the builder block.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it now.
Yeah, around the top. Now, I have cut one out of green as well, which is going to be the lining, but there's no point. You can see what I'm doing. Now, this is too big to go around here. So what I've done, I think what I might do is I might unpick this piece and stick it in here. So we've got a full little cuff here. It doesn't matter that the cuff is going to be a little bit wider than this because we're just going to fold it over. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly unpick this.
Okay.
So I might just give it a cut it.
And
Then I'll stitch it together. Again, so you've got those beautiful, cause you want to sort of see all that pattern. But I just thought this builder block, using it in a slightly different way, not using it as a whole block, but using a section of it was quite a nice idea, something a little bit different to do.
I think it doesn't matter what craft you are doing, whether it's your soft craft or your paper craft. Sometimes it's about taking an element that you really like and doing something with it. So, you know, using it a little bit out of the ordinary. So you know, whether it's a flower die here or a panel from something over there, and a bit like you were showing those gorgeous gloves earlier. You've got a lovely pair of gloves, but you've got a die and you fancy using it, then, you know, use it and make it your own, make it personal. If you were to give this to somebody, maybe embroider an initial onto it, that would stay coming out at Christmas year after year after year, wouldn't it? It would be loved, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I definitely think that is the case.
So does that fit lovely now?
Yeah, so that would go round like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a piece of red fabric. And I'm just going to cut that so it's the same size. I'm going to do it roughly. I can trim that all off afterwards. And then I want to put this right sides together. And then I'm going to stitch along and then fold it back.
Right.
And then I'm going to create a little cuff for that stocking.
So is that just going to give you neater edges?
Yeah, so it means that you're going to have neater edges, but also what you want to do is you want to have a nice finish on here. So that's going to be the red of the stocking is going to be on that side as well. So it will actually fold over as a proper cuff on your
I see where you're
stocking.
coming from. Yes, I know where you're coming from. So you're not going to stitch it down. I get.
Yeah,
yes.
so we're going to stitch this like
So it's going to extend the stocking effectively, isn't it?
Yeah. Give you more space for chocolate oranges.
Perfect.
That's what it's going to do.
You've got to you know, when we were little, it was a satsuma, and now we're a little bit older, it's a chocolate satsuma, as in chocolate orange.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What do you
progress.
have? Do you have a stocking at Christmas?
No, not anymore. Although my
Oh.
husband, I did sort of drop enough hints that took my husband Christmas stocking filler style shopping the other day, and he disappeared for a bit and then came back with lots of bits and pieces. So I don't know. I've got a non-stocking stocking, I think.
See, my husband likes to play a little trick, and he's done this for years. very frustrating. So what he does, he will say, I'll say I want something in particular, I'd like something in particular, and he'll buy an off-brand version of it. So I said I wanted a particular type of bath products, and I was really looking forward to them. And he said, oh, here it is, and it's this beautifully, lavishly wrapped up box of rubbish. I mean, just the stuff that, you know, the stuff that makes you sneeze, that your great-grandmother liked to use, you know, things that you would never want. And he was like looking at me and he was like, are you happy? And I was like, this isn't quite what I wanted. And he was like, well, you know, I just thought, you know, you said lime, basil and mandarin. I thought, you know, white linen was the same sort of thing or whatever it was. And I was like, oh no, I was really wanting this sort of special stuff. It's like, you know, really like luxurious kind of thing. No, he said, I thought this was the kind of thing you want. I can't believe you don't like it. I'm really upset. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's lovely, thanks. And I was absolutely devastated. Well, not devastated, I was really disappointed because that was like my big present, this stinky stuff. And about 4 hours later, he comes in from the car with a big box of the product that I actually wanted. And he finds it hilarious because I was really upset. But because he's done this kind of thing quite often, sometimes he misses the mark and I think he's just joking. So one year he bought this piece of jewellery, this necklace, and I was like, oh, thanks.
Waiting for the real one to come out.
It's not the kind of thing I wanted. It's not the kind of thing I'd wear at all, ever. And he was like, oh, yeah. And then I was like, thank you. Where's the real one? Where's the thing I actually wanted? And he was like, well, this is what you wanted. I was like, no. He went, I went to the shop 4 weeks after you pointed it out in the shop window, and I just went to the same window and I said, yeah, she wants that. Obviously, in the shops, they change everything that's in the window. So the thing that was in the window then was not the kind of thing that I wanted now. And he said, oh, no, I thought you'd really like it. I thought it was odd that you asked for that. And I was like, well, yeah, because, you know, it's not the kind of thing. And if only you'd bothered looking, you would have seen it's not what I asked for. So he does do these things. And that was a time when his sort of joking around didn't work because I was just grumpy. I mean, just grumpy. I wore the necklace on Christmas Day, and then on Boxing Day morning I went, I hate this, can I take it back?
Oh,
so
dear.
Don't trick people, I think, is the moral of this story.
Bless you. Bless her. So I wonder what you're going to get this year. Have you dropped some hints?
No, I've just told him.
Oh, you just told him?
I'm not dropping hints. You know, this is what I want. That's, no. Whether I get it or not is a different matter. Who knows? My daughter will go shopping with him, and she's quite good with shopping, so she should keep him in check, ideally. We'll see. I mean, who knows?
Too funny.
I think I'm at this point now where I just think I buy what I want anyway, so it's the easiest thing to do. Yeah, I think that's the easiest thing to do. So I'm quite looking forward to actually seeing what I get from my Secret Santa here. Because it would be interesting to see whether people know you, wouldn't they? You know, do they know you? Do they know me?
Well, I'm not giving anything away, but I have not got you for Secret Santa this year.
Okay, all right. Well, you'd know what I'd want.
Yeah, I could probably get
matching knickers and hankies.
With a tiara.
Yeah, with a tiara. Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're just...
Right, now Angela came back and said, my daughter was 10 years old. She got the Crafter's Companion Champions mug for her sewing work, and she's now studying textiles as one of her GCSEs.
Wow.
I'm impressed.
That
well
is amazing.
done to Angela's daughter. She's never said her name, but I am really impressed that at 10 years old she could make her own dress, and would love to see some pictures. And Rhonda says, Becky and Corrine, that's capital letters, can you please suggest a craft along for softer side? I put the bug in Leanne's ear, but don't want her to forget.
Yeah, do you know, I was thinking about this today, because I heard that comment come through last week about doing craft along. That we just need to work out a craft along that is feasible, because obviously with sewing it tends to take a little bit longer than other things. So I will work on something, and we will come up with an option to do a craft along, I think.
Maybe even if you have to do it over a couple of shows, maybe. Or...
Yeah. I mean, on the other, when we do the TV show at Sewing Street, I do projects that take two shows.
Yeah.
So you can see how we're doing things on that. So that is an option, so we can do something along that kind of line.
Rachel says husbands don't get hints, her husband doesn't. Sandra says, I made the mistake of mentioning that I had never had an advent calendar as a child. Oh, we didn't have chocolate in ours though either, Sandra. Ours were just pictures like an angel or a star, and you used to get really excited about getting an angel or a Father Christmas. But kids now would look at you. Having got Crafter's Companion one the last few years, he went berserk, and I have the Crafter's Companion one and 5 different chocky ones now.
Oh my God, he's a keeper.
He certainly is a keeper. You've got a whole day's worth of chocolate just in advent calendars, haven't you? Brilliant.
I bought my husband a hot sauce advent calendar this year.
You bought him a what?
Hot sauce advent calendar.
Oh, hot sauce.
And I said to him before I left, where's my advent calendar? Because I left home on Wednesday. I'm not back until next Tuesday. And he was like, I didn't know you wanted an advent calendar. That's just what the children wanted. And I said, no, I'd like an advent calendar. I don't need an expensive one. I don't need a luxurious one. But I do want one with some chocolate in it.
Yeah, you're not bothered about 24 beauty gifts or 24 bottles of gin?
No, I'm quite happy with that.
You just want nice chocolates?
Yeah, nice chocolates, that'd be fine.
Not the really nasty chocolate that's...
No, that tastes like, metal.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that. I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller because it's a little bit too big. So just bear with me.
Well, while you do that, I will show you something else that we have gone. So I haven't shown you these today. So these are your sewing template kits. So these are lovely. So you're going to get 3 different kits. So you're going to get your sewing workstation. There we go, you can see that one on there. Look at that, I love that. So it hangs up and you've got all the bits, a place for your cutting mat, all your pockets in there. You've also got your storage caddy. Now I do like that one, I like the shape of that. That is gorgeous. Love the little button detail on the top of there. And then you've got your sewing organiser, which again is lovely. I look at all of these and I just think, oh, these look like so much now. 50% saving on these. These should be just shy of £50. Just a couple of pence shy of £50. So you're going to get those for $24.98 or $29.40. So it's a 50% saving, but just remember your platinum price is going to drop down even further, £19.98 or $23.52. So yeah, so if you want those, and again, you're going to get all the instructions. I can see in here, it says it includes the template, it includes the large template on there, that's the little bits and then template, and then all of the instructions in there. It even tells you what you will need, how much you're going to need for your outer fabric A, contrast, fabric B, contrast, your interfacing, and everything else that you are going to need. So yeah, that is absolutely perfect. So snap those up while you can. Perfect for somebody if they are a sewer, because that's going to, buy them something like that and a bundle of the fabrics and you are away. Brilliant. And then the other one I just want to remind you of is the paper piecing collection. So this is amazing. This is 24 sheets and they're like, are these iron-on then, or are they just paper? They're tissue paper. There you go.
And they're tissue paper because basically you stitch your fabric through the paper, and you want to tear the paper off after you finish.
There you go.
So it makes it, you get amazing results. So it's super clever.
Yeah,
really
best ever price on this. This is saving you 20%. So instead of $24.99, you're going to get these for $19.99 or $24. So absolutely brilliant. And as Becky said, this has changed the way she paper pieces. Well, basically she wasn't doing it before because it was just too much hassle and too complicated, too difficult. And this has made it easier. Wow, Becky, so what have you just done? So you've just
I've just stitched. So I've got my cuff, and I put so you've got one side with the builder block on there,
yes.
and then you've got the other side there, and then I just put the cuff around the top of the stocking, and you do it in the same way if you had a lining in here, so it would have a green lining, and then you've got your little stocking here, and if you wanted to, you can have a little loop of fabric down here, but it just makes a nice kind of a little bit different with that kind of patchwork detail at the top.
That's
using
beautiful.
That builder block.
A completely different way to use that designer builder block.
Yeah.
So, you know, something completely away from the norm, but following the instructions. So Becky still followed the instructions to make the little individual panels, but once she'd made the individual panels, she then turned it into something completely different. So yeah, that was the builder block. We've now got the details back up on the screen for you. So this is the East Ham collection. 5 different elements, $24.49 or $27.96. So that is absolutely a fantastic way to use it. And I love that. Thank you, Becky. It just shows how changing the colours and changing the way you use it, how different it looks. So I think we're going to a quick VT now. So that will give you a chance to check out, grab a quick 2 minutes and come back and we'll have a look at the last little bit until the end of the show. So see you in a minute.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Come on, that was really funny, Ben. You did.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I am a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that?
What was it? Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, you know, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
If you love Crafters TV, we've made it easy for you to watch us wherever you are. Whether you catch us on your tablets or take us with you on your mobile phone, it's easy to watch us anywhere. From here to here. Maybe don't watch us here. It would be easy to watch us here. Probably the easiest place to watch us is here. Crafters TV, with you wherever you are.
Hello, I'm Ben and I'm one of the presenters on Crafters TV. So my presenting journey started when I was about 18. I started working at a holiday park here in the UK. Our US viewers might not know it, but there's like a holiday park called Butlins. So what's involved with being a presenter? Well, my day-to-day kind of is ensuring I know everything that's on the show. Ensuring that the guys that I'm working with obviously are happy with everything that's on the show. And I kind of feel like what I do, I'm sort of like the glue in the show, if you like. There's a bit of a crafty reference for you. So kind of listening to the guys in the gallery, the producer, the director, I'm sort of always listening to what they want me to do whilst the crafters are crafting. So I feel like I'm there as the glue, keeping sort of everything, as it should be. But I also think my job is to have a lot of fun, which I think I do on most days. Get the viewers interacting, because we always love to hear from our viewers, and I think that's one thing that we do here that you don't get anywhere else, is that interaction. So I think on the shows where I get the opportunity to craft, I always try and have a go, because I always think that if I can show that I can do it as like a real newbie base level crafter, then hopefully that'll inspire other people to have a go as well. I'm always inspired by Craig, because again, he's such a talented crafter, as our guys, as I say, all of them are, but he has obviously had a lot to battle with as far as his health is concerned. I always say this about Craig, if I'm having a bit of a bad day, I always think about Craig, because he's not been so well recently, but he'll never come into work and sort of moan about how bad he's feeling, and with all of the health issues he's had and the operations he's had over the years, he's a big inspiration because he just gets on with it.
I've shown you so many products today, but I think you need to see what they can make, because it's all right me holding this up and saying, oh look, that's a nice little template, but you need to see what it actually is. But this is something that I've not even mentioned today. I wasn't even here. So this is our Lynn Goldworthy collection, and it is 3 sets of acrylic templates. So you have got your kaleidoscope star, which is here, and then you've got your wheel of mystery, which is this one here. The Wheel of Mystery. And you've also got the Hunter's Star. That's really lovely. Now, these are acrylic templates, but they still work the same way as the dies do. 3 projects in each one. You've got the templates, you get your instructions, everything that you need to do. But instead of running it through your die cutting machine, you're going to put these on your fabric and then probably cut round them with your rotary cutter or something like that. So these are absolutely amazing. And you're going to get these today. Instead of £65.97, they're going to be £42 or $52, 35% saving, which is brilliant because you're going to get 13 elements in total. So what we're going to show you is just a starter. And as Becky's already shown you, you can take these and really put your own twist on these. So Becky's craft desk has been completely transformed. Becky was transformed a few minutes ago. She was under the quilt. So what have you got to show us, Becky?
So these samples, I mean, these are just beautiful. So these are made by the design team. They make these incredible. These are massive. I mean, this quilt at the very bottom fits over a sort of double bed. To show you the type of thing that you could be creating with these templates. Now, these templates, as Corrine was saying, they are acrylic, so you don't need your die cutting machine. You will only be able to cut maybe 2 at a time. So you can have a double layer of fabric. You then use your acrylic template, you'll use your rotary cutter and you'll cut around the side. So ideally use a rotating cutting mat, or if you don't have one of those, I use a small cutting mat on a bigger cutting mat and I just twist that one around. But you can see, you can create some really, really beautiful designs. So this one here, I think this is a Hunter's Star. This is one of the projects which is a sewing machine cover. I think this one is this kaleidoscope. I can't remember what they're all called, but you can see that looks beautiful, and it's got some really lovely quilting and some very sort of
Wheel of Mystery.
Wheel of Mystery. I should work in a game show. But we've just used plain fabrics in here. Using some of those fabrics of the week that we've got would look really beautiful. Totally different feel to it. Kind of a Regency kind of quilt.
I've just got it.
Yeah?
I've just got it because we've got loads of people saying I'd be willing to be the guinea pig guest on the first craft along, and then somebody else saying I also mentioned on a survey that I think we should do a sew along. We could have it at the weekend.
Yeah.
Play your crafts right.
Yeah.
Could be hold them up. What is this pattern?
Yeah.
Wheel of Mystery or Kaleidoscope Star, Hunter Star, you know what I mean? It could be what it is.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That could be your play your crafts right.
Yeah.
And then your next 2 shows for the rest of the afternoon could be your sew along or craft along with sewing in 2 parts.
It could be, yeah.
That's a perfect Saturday or Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah. Let us know if you're keen on that, and we will put that to the powers that be, because I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Exactly, Leanne. Leanne would have to be the one that plays the game with me, wouldn't she? Because I think Leanne, well, I don't know. I mean, when they did the the play craft with the paper pads, I wasn't on the show, but I knew them all.
Did you?
Yeah,
impressive.
Which I'm quite impressed about.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
But look at that one that you've got there. That is absolutely beautiful.
I mean, it's just stunning, isn't it? Really, I mean, it's really quite an intricate kind of
Kaleidoscope
design.
Star.
Looking at that from afar, I mean, it's just beautiful. It's just straight lines.
Do you know what I think often with these is when you're up close, you don't see the detail.
Yeah.
You've got to step back.
So do you remember watching Mean Girls? Not Mean, no. What's the one with Alicia Silverstone in it? Clueless.
Right, yeah.
And she talks about people being a Monet. So they look great from afar, but they're a real mess close up. And it's a little bit like that because you see different things when you look at it close up, don't you, with a quilt?
Yeah.
You know, from far away, it just looks like a pretty pattern. And as you get closer, you can see, actually, I can see how that's been put together.
Yeah.
And this one I think is really clever because it looks like you've got a curve here, but actually you haven't. It's just been the way that the angles are cut that you get this beautiful kind of shape to it. So really, really beautiful. And these acrylic templates, they're going to last and last. They're really strong acrylic. If you're concerned about them slipping, you can use some of our spray, which is like a grip adhesive that stops anything from moving. So it's great for rulers and things like that. And it really does stop anything from slipping around. But yeah, definitely worth popping in your basket when it's this kind of price.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So you're going to get all 3 of those template sets, 13 elements in total, £42, $52 today. Now, the one we mentioned just a few minutes ago was our work storage collection. So this was, you get in here, you get the sewing templates in here. So this is storage. Oh, you can't see because my iPad. I'm trying to keep up with all your comments as well. So this is your storage template collection. Absolutely brilliant. So you're going to get your sewing workstation, and you're also going to get your storage caddy, and you're also going to get your sewing organiser. And hopefully Becky has got some of these to show us now over there. Have you managed to find me those?
Yep, I have. So this is your sewing organiser. I made one, if I just go over here, I made one for the Jubilee. And I did one with Jubilee fabric, and I used it as a picnic
why was I just thinking picnic basket?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking as I'm looking at that.
It works really well, you know, a cat basket, did you say, Jamie? You could, I mean, I'd say this is quite a big kitten basket. I'd say a year-old cat basket. This would be, or a Labrador puppy. 2-month-old Labrador puppy, perfect size. But really great because you can use it for all sorts of different things. So great for sewing organiser, popping your knitting in here as a little organiser, just some
baby bag.
Baby bag,
you know, in-house baby caddy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I used to have one of those little things for the nappies and the wipes and a toy, that kind of thing. That would work really well. So that is an option for you. So that is a sewing organiser. The next one we've got is the that's not sewing organiser. Is that a sewing
that's
organiser?
a caddy.
Caddy. This is a sewing organiser.
It is.
And I did one of these for it was National Dog Day. And I made it into a grooming kit for dogs. So you could have all of your, your grooming, scissors down here. You can have your treats for the dog to keep them still. But this has actually been made as a sewing organiser. So you've got a little pin cushion over here, places to put your pens or anything that's a little bit tall. You've also got another zip pocket down here as well. And then it all rolls up. So great for travelling with. You could use that. Maybe you're a mobile hairdresser, and you want to have all of your combs and bits and pieces in there.
So have you got the workstation one as well?
I have got the workstation one as well. So this is quite a clever piece of kit, because what you can do here, you can fit your cutting board in here. Yeah. A small cutting board, not the large one that I've got here. You've got little pockets. You've got little places to pop bits and pieces in. Here you've got your pin cushion, other little pockets up here. And the idea would be that you would hang this up on the back of a door. So it would hang like this, and then when you needed to use it, it would fold down like this, and you could use it exactly as this is here. So you've got your cutting mat here, and you've got all those places. A little bit like the toy post office that I always wanted as a child.
Yes.
And I never got.
Not that you're bitter after all. That's it. Georgie's like, quick, Google toy post office.
Look at the Argos catalogue 1980 and you will see what I really wanted and never got. But you can see, you can organise everything, and great for people that haven't got a lot of space and just want some. Great for kids actually, have all their kids' play bits in here. So again, great items to have. And because they are the templates, and they're templates made out of thick acetate, they're going to last and last. We just draw around the shapes, wipe them clean. They're easy to use.
Brilliant, absolute fantastic. 50% saving on that. So instead of just shy of £50, it's $24.98 or $29.40. Now, everybody loving the idea of a sewing craft along. A couple of people saying that would be brilliant. I thought I was getting told off. Rebecca says it's a good idea, great idea. Michelle, she said, Corrine, do you have any idea how many builder block sets I have? I was thinking, oh dear, what have I done wrong? And you want me to remember one over the other. I'm lucky if I remember what I did yesterday. Okay, Michelle, I get that. Yeah, stand corrected there, yes, I know, but I don't remember what I did, what I ate or where I went, but never mind. Now, the other thing we're going to look at, and this is where we're going to go next, and this is what Becky's going to show us how to use, is our foundation paper piecing pads. 24 elements in here, so 20% saving on this, so instead of $24.99, it's $19.99 or $24. This is the best ever price on this. And as Becky said, paper piecing was something that she very rarely did before this came along, and it just takes all the stress and hassle out of doing your paper piecing and just makes it so much easier.
Absolutely. Now this is the quilt that we've got on the packaging. So this is like a sampler quilt. If you can zoom in, you could probably see how this has been put together. So it's just straight lines. That's how you've created those curves. Everything is in straight lines. And
so even the heart, top of the heart?
Yeah, just straight lines. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate now, which is the heart, which is the first one to start with. The ones that are, I'd say the ones that are harder to do are the ones like the butterfly and the toadstool, where you've got that tiny, tiny heart in place there. And it's not this difficult to do, it's just you're using tiny pieces of fabric. So I would suggest that if you do buy this, you start with a heart and then you work your way through. And honestly, I guarantee you'll use this and then you will not be able to stop. I mean, I've got a lot of crafts. I've got a lot of things at home. And when I did this, and then I spoke to one of my cousins who's a stylist, who sews, and I said, have you ever done any of this foundation paper piece? And she went, oh no, it looks really complicated. I was like, no, come and look. And even she was like, wow, this is amazing. And now I've bought loads of stuff to do with foundation paper piecing, loads of patterns, loads of books, because actually it's just, it's such an exciting thing to do. You can do things like these. So we've got a cushion cover here with that beautiful butterfly. Looks lovely, little scraps of fabric. Now this is an absolute dream for using up all those scraps of fabric that we all have that we don't want to throw away. Look how tiny that little heart is. No bigger than my two fingers. You'll be able to put these all together really, really beautifully with all those scraps of fabric. This stocking for Christmas
love that.
with a red robin. That is brilliant, really clever. It looks exactly like a robin, and you'll see as you start putting everything together how easy it is to do. But here is another one using some Liberty print fabrics. Looks more like a seagull, this particular one. So there's all sorts of different things you can do with this. And it really is like a base, a starting point for you to start using these foundation paper pieces to create all of your different designs. Now, when you first get your foundation pad, you'll open it up. Now what we have here is we have the cutting list and the instructions for each one of these blocks. So altogether you've got 10-inch blocks, and you've got 6 blocks in here, 4 pages of these within each pad. Now we've given you cutting lists over here. So if you see here, you've got everything divided up into different sections. So in this particular one for the butterfly, you've got A, B, C and D. Now I found the best way of cutting everything out is I had a load of like takeaway dishes, and I put the pieces of fabric in the takeaway dishes, and I cut 2 of everything. Even if I was only making 1, I cut 2 of everything, because it's a pain in the neck if you've lost a piece of fabric and you can't find it anywhere. And you'll just follow the instructions down here. So we've told you how much fabric you'll need, and we've told you how to put it together. Now the only other things you will need in order to make this, obviously you need your fabric, you need some thread, you want a sewing machine, you do not want to do this by hand, and ideally you want a little glue stick. So a little fabric glue stick. I'm going to go and get mine in just a second so you can see what I mean. What you want to do is you want to change your sewing machine length for your thread, your stitch, down to 1.2. So normally it's around about 2.5. So 1.2 is what you want to do, because what you want to do is you want to perforate the paper. So when you stitch, you're going to stitch on through the fabric onto the paper, onto the paper through to the fabric, and then after you've stitched everything together, you're going to peel away the paper. So if you're using that very small stitch, you're going to perforate it better. Now the other thing to do is not to keep your needle specifically for this type of thing. If you're going to be stitching through paper, and if you've ever stitched through a card, you're doing like a piece of a card with some stitching on it. You want to keep those needles separately because they do blunt, and you don't want to be using a blunt needle for sewing some beautiful cotton lawn or something like that. So I just put mine back in that little envelope that comes with your needles, and I just write on the top paper so I know to swap it out for my paper later on. We've given you step-by-step instructions throughout this little page here, and then they form onto the back here. Now I've done videos, step-by-step videos for each one of these blocks, so you will not get lost, but it's addictive. Once you start doing it, you won't stop. It's like Pringles. Now you'll see how the pages look here. This is very, very fine tissue paper. You can see my hand through it. It's like fine tissue paper, and you've got these sections that are printed out on here. You've got a dotted line around the edge of each section. What you want to do is you just want to cut out your sections, cut them out roughly. You don't want to go over that dotted line, but you just want to leave that dotted line because you're going to use that as a way of trimming everything afterwards. This dotted line to that thick black line is 1/4 inch. So when you put everything together and you stitch along this long black line, you've still got your 1/4 inch seam allowance here. And each one of these forms exactly the same format. So if I go through here, this one is for the bird. You can see how the eye looks here. The beak is something separate, but you've got all these different sections here. Now, the other thing I would do, my other top tip, would be to write on the back of your piece of fabric with your heat erasable pen what it's called. So this piece, for example, is called A9, just so you don't lose them. Otherwise, you're going to be spending all your time remeasuring, making sure you've got the right piece of fabric here. Now, the heart-shaped block is the easiest block to start off with. You can see here I've started sort of ticking off all my pieces of fabric. The heart-shaped one, obviously you do one side is exactly the same as the other. So this is when cutting two of everything makes perfect sense. You only use one piece of the coloured fabric, or the fabric to form the main heart. All the rest of it is made by white or single colours going all the way around. And you can see from that pattern here how that's going to work together. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started with making this piece here. I'm going to pull out one of the patterns.
Oh, speak again, probably. Rhonda says, Becky, please show how paper piecing works. Well, here you go. We're going to show you exactly how it works.
Now, I've already done section B, so I just want to cut out section A, which is this one over here. So I'm not going to cut against that dotted line. I'm just going to cut a little bit south of that, north, to the edge. You know what I mean? Yeah, just round here. This one, as I say, this is the easiest one to get started with. It's definitely the one that I would recommend that you do first of all if you've never done it before, and you will then sort of see actually it's simple. It makes perfect sense, and you will be just as addicted as I am.
Lots of people says we've got Angela says just bought the fabric bundles, and she also she says, I have those storage template sets, they are fabulous. And also, foundation paper piecing is a technique I've not yet tried. So yeah, hopefully, Becky's going to show you how easy it is, and then you will try it, because really it is something that, if what Becky says, everyone can do and everyone can try. And hopefully, these paper piecing foundation sets, or foundation paper piecing pads, if I get the words out right. It's like you said, it's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Yes. Foundation paper piecing, and it's the pad for that. So yeah, they really do take some of the hard work out of it and make it so much easier. There we go.
I'm just looking for my glue, which it has eluded me. It's right at the bottom of my very large tote bag over there. So I'm gonna manage without. So you can, if you've got a glue stick, a fabric glue stick. So it was one of these kind of fabric glue sticks. It's like a pinky coloured thing that you can get hold of, or you can use pins. So we're gonna go old school, and we're gonna go with pins. So what we're going to do first of all, we're going to take our piece of paper and we're going to get all our pieces of fabric all lined out. So I'm just going to make sure I've got them in the right place, in the right order. So this is where making sure that you have written on there what they are all called.
Is that our fabric of the week?
Exactly, it is our fabric of the week, yeah. So I'm just lining them all up. So 4, what comes after 4? There we go. That one's supposed to be 4. That's 9.
Ooh, bit of a gap.
No, that's my handwriting, my scrabbly handwriting. 5, 6, 7 and 8 and 9. So I've got all my pieces laid out, and you can see that they all correspond with the shapes here. Now, what we do is we start off with rectangles or squares. We start with angular shapes, and we're going to create that beautiful curve. So you can see you've got lots of pieces that are triangular shapes. You don't have to cut out the triangular shapes because of the way we're going to put this together. Now, what we want to do is we want to take our piece of fabric and we want to have it across here. So this is the back of our stitching. We want this fabric to be facing this way. So right side, wrong sides
Two
together,
wrong sides together.
I suppose, for want of a better term. And what you want to do, you just want to make sure that it covers that big space here. So this is section A, and we just want to make sure it's in the right place. And we're going to put a couple of pins in here just to hold it in place.
So Rhonda says, are these reusable? No, they're not. Once you've used them, they're used.
If you make a mistake, you can, generally speaking, unpick it and then use that piece again. Sometimes, if you're lucky. I would say not really. Generally speaking, if you make a, you've got to be careful, really, I think is the thing to do. Now, what we want to do is we want to find, so this is section A1, and that's the piece that we've got that big piece of coloured fabric on there. And then we're going to section A2. What we want to do is we want to fold this piece of paper back along that line, like so.
Hence why it's nice and thin, so you can see straight through.
And then we are going to take our rotary cutter and we're going to take our ruler, and using 1/4 inch seam allowance, we're just going to trim that off like that.
So you said you've done full instructions for all of these?
Yeah, we've got videos for all of them.
I think I remember you saying you were coming up to do days and days worth of filming.
It took a long time. Once you start doing it, you're sort of thinking, oh yeah, it makes perfect sense. You've just got to be a bit organised at the start. But obviously video take a little bit of time, things go wrong, you have to repick things, all sorts of things go wrong. So we've now got that A2 piece here. So we've got that A2 piece folded down. That's got the beautiful 1/4 inch seam allowance we've cut here. Now we need to take the piece of fabric for A2, and we're going to match up those raw edges here. And I'm going to make sure that my piece of fabric, my piece of A2 fabric, when I open it up, it's going to cover all that little section there. So I might just need to move it up a little bit more here, like that.
Oh, I see,
you can see you've got all your piece of fabric here. And then we fold that over. I'm going to pop a pin in here. And this is where, if you had your glue, you could glue that together. So I would glue along that seam allowance just to hold everything in place. And just pin that there. And then we're going to take it to the sewing machine, and we're going to stitch down this line here.
Actually,
so we're stitching on the line through the paper and through the fabric. So I'm going to change my stitch length to 1.2. And I do prefer to use glue when I'm doing this rather than pins, but
Sorry,
not
I don't
everyone
know
does.
sewing glue. I'm not into sewing. So is that like a temporary glue?
Yeah, it's just a fabric glue, so it will wash away.
Wash away, right, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've never used the fabric glue, so I didn't know.
So it takes a little bit longer to stitch because it's going through, it's a tinier stitch that we're using here. Oops.
So I think this answers the question as we were just discussing. Rhonda said about the reusable. You can see that once you've gone through these, then you're not really going to be able to...
It's all perforated now.
Yeah.
Then what we want to do is we want to unfold this, and we're going to just finger press that here. Now you could use your iron, but it takes a bit of time to do, so we're just going to finger press it and then flip it back over. And then we're going to do exactly the same with a section between A2 and A3. So we'll fold that piece of paper over, like that. And then we'll use our ruler, and we'll use our rotary cutter. Like that. And then we'll take section A3, which is a larger piece of fabric here. And once again, we want to just make sure that when we place it, against that raw edge.
Yeah.
We've just made sure that when we open up the fabric, it's going to cover that shape here that we've got here.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll flip that back over and then we're going to pin it together.
Do you know, it's quite methodical, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pin, trim, pin, fold it, trim, put the next one on, flip it back.
If you've done iris folding,
Yeah.
similar kind of situation really.
It's about getting almost into a pattern, isn't it?
You know, the first time you see it, so when I've watched, no, that's not true. When I've read patterns for doing foundation paper piecing, it didn't make any sense. You know, the flipping, the turning, the measuring, and quite often with patterns for foundation paper piecing, all they give you is the design. You've got to cut the fabric yourself. So that's fiddly in itself, that you've got to cut all the different pieces roughly the right size, but we've given you that information on here, and it just didn't. Once you start seeing it, it's very simple, and it's very therapeutic. You're just doing the same thing over and over again. You're stitching along the line. You're going to fold out that fabric now. You're just going to give it a finger press. So you can see we're creating that line, and we're going to do this curve around here. So we're just going to continue with that. So we're going to then take A4 like that.
Oh, just need to let everybody know that multimedia 6-piece that was very limited stock has unfortunately gone. That one where you were buying the daisy and getting the other 5 free.
Hopefully people are making lots of crackers with them.
Yeah, I think it was things like what you were showing is how versatile they can be, and just, you know, putting those designs into your projects. Just showed it absolutely brilliantly, didn't it?
And all these little scraps, probably not those ones, but these ones,
the bigger ones, yes.
Great to keep hold of, to pop into, you know, if you're going to be doing foundation paper piecing again, you can use these shapes and pieces of fabric for other things in the future. So again, we're doing the same sort of thing here. So I'm just going to carry on stitching and pinning. So if you want to pin, or gluing if you prefer. If you're going to glue, you want to pop a little bit of glue just around the edge here, and so you're sort of gluing on the seam allowance, because obviously you're flipping the fabric over, so you don't want to glue the fabric down here because you're going to be flipping it over. So I'm just again stitching along that line.
I know it's very fine, like you say, it's an ultra fine tissue paper, but it's actually quite robust, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's taking the work really well. It's not falling apart.
The kind of paper you would have a paper pattern made out of if we're just making. So same kind of thing. But you're right, it's not so flimsy that it's falling apart when I'm using it.
No.
And it can cope with the pins going through it as well, without any issues. So we'll carry on around here. Again, A5, fold back, trim. You get into a bit of a routine with this. A5, that bit there. That was A5, wasn't it? Yep. So together.
Yeah, there's definitely a pattern, a rhythm. I think that's the word I was looking for, rhythm. It's definitely a rhythm of, once you get into it, especially, you know, if you weren't having to explain it to somebody like Becky's doing, it's a nice rhythm. You fold it, you layer it up, you trim, you flip it back, you sew, you finger press it or press it, and then go on to the next one, and just keep working that that rhythm through, and you will see it. But you straight away, I can see, look, you can see the curve of the heart coming through, can't you?
And you wouldn't be able to get that curve if you're just using like normal sort of patchworking. You could get the curve if you were doing a plique. So if you're actually cutting that heart shape out, you know, we've got dies, multimedia dies to cut hearts. You could absolutely do something like that. But this is a totally different method of sort of design. So you're actually you're putting that picture, that image inside the fabric, rather than, you know, just sort of sticking it over the top.
And it's clever, isn't it? All your pieces were rectangles.
Yeah.
All your pieces were rectangles 5 minutes ago, and now you're getting a heart out of that. So it's almost mind-blowing how you've gone, you know, going through. Roger also says, it looks like like Quilt You Go meets iris folding. Well,
Yes.
yeah, that's a bit like what Becky just
Yeah.
said. Angela says, thanks for the demo. This looks so much easier than I thought it would. Reading patterns was too confusing.
Yeah.
So I hope, you know, this is something, if I just flashed up and go, oh, here's a foundation paper piecing pad, buy this, get on with it, I can understand how people could be put off, could quite easily, because you're just understanding the concept. It's not necessarily something that you could, you don't always need a lot of tuition, but just that basic tuition of how it works helps no end to just to get you started, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, definitely. Absolutely.
Right, we're going to have to vote in a minute. Are you going to get this through in a minute or so?
A minute.
Come on, Becky. Speed, so please,
I
Becky.
am speed.
So, right, we have an... There we go, right. And just to let you know, for anybody that was watching earlier and is joining us at 6 p.m, our launch product, the gorgeous pop-up vase and flowers, is now 70% gone. So, yeah, it's going fast. We've got 2 hours and 6 minutes until the show, and it's definitely very popular. So we shall see where we go with that. Hopefully we can get some more stock, but that is our original stock is now 70% gone. So make sure you grab that. That was £27.98 plus 100 bonus points if you wanted that. So that's the pop-up vase and the flower elements as well. So yeah, 70% gone already. So yeah, proving so popular. And I think you just love the versatility. And I've actually seen Michelle's demos for 6 o'clock, and they are all different, completely different ways to use that vase. In cards, on cards, using the florals. Yeah, we might just be talking inspiration galore for later. Now, I know you have been busy, but what have you made? You've done the stocking.
Did a stocking, what else? Oh, no, cracker.
And the cracker.
And the cracker.
And now we're doing the paper piece, foundation paper piecing. I know we've not got long on the votes, but we hopefully we will get there. So just remember in your head, we had the stocking, we had the cracker.
So we got the the cracker first of all.
Yeah, that would be one.
Yep. Then we've got the stocking.
Oh, and I think I can almost see.
Whoops! Just throwing everything everywhere, and then if you look on the overhead, you can probably see this better. Not quite finished that yet, but you can see those two halves of the
Look at that! That's
Once I've stitched everything
amazing.
and tidied everything together.
Hasn't that come together beautifully? Yeah, we shall see if you can get that finished in a few minutes.
Yep.
But yeah, 1, 2 or 3. We haven't got very long. Anyway, I'm good with speed voting, says Rachel. So she's going to count your votes as they come in. 1, 2 or 3. You please pick whichever one you want to go into the demo of the day, and we will see which you pick. But this is absolutely gorgeous. I'm loving this. So what are you doing now? Trimming around the edges?
So I'm just trimming. So where we've got that dotted line,
yeah,
I'm just going to trim around
Hence
the
why
edge.
you said don't cut on it, cut near it.
Yeah, cut near it.
Yeah.
So, gosh, I am a mess today, aren't I? Look at that.
No, we're absolutely fine.
I will say you will need a bin close to you because you end up with lots of little bits when you're doing.
And a really sharp rotary cutter, I'm noticing.
Yeah, absolutely. And ideally you're rotating a cutting mat if you've got one, or as I said, you know, I use 2 cutting mats generally at home. I use one on the top, a very small one, and I use a larger one underneath, and that is a way that I get around not having a rotating cutting mat. So I'm just going to trim around these edges here.
We haven't got long. 3 minutes left on the show. Get your votes in nice and quick. I think for this one should win, just for demonstration purposes, to show you how brilliantly you can achieve these effects. And see
when this actually was launched, I wasn't here, and lovely Adam Adam Brooks did the launch for me because I was on holiday, and I was really upset because not because he was here, but because I really wanted to launch this because I thought it was such a lovely product, so it's great to get the opportunity to actually demonstrate it again.
There you go.
So trimmed all those edges, and then
Oh, wow.
we just need to put those two pieces together, stitch them together, and then you've got that heart created. And everything in that foundation paper piecing pad is made in exactly the same way. So you've got different sections that you just put together, but you see you've got that beautiful kind of curve that you wouldn't be able to get in otherwise. And it is so easy. It looks really complicated. I don't doubt, I totally agree with anyone that said, oh, I looked at foundation paper piecing and I was like, oh no, I don't want to do it. It's too complicated. I was exactly the same. This took all of the mystery out of it, and it made it really simple. And it means that, you know, what you might not want to do all of those all the time, but it will give you a starting point to be able to understand how to make them and to go and do more complicated projects afterwards, and you'll have that confidence to do it.
Well, Becky, you'll be pleased to know that demo of the show is number 3, so you've got to finish it off for us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for voting.
No, I think that's just sort of a reflection of how appreciative everybody is of the tuition that we've just got to show us how easy foundation paper piecing really can be if you are into your sewing and you love that. So make sure you pick up your foundation paper piecing pad. Yes, it is, you know, a game changer, absolute game changer, so you can do that. Now, we've not got long, so hopefully, I hope you've enjoyed that show. We're going to take away some of our ideas away to Leanne about a sewing craft along, but I will be back at 6 o'clock with the lovely Michelle, and we're going to be focusing all about this launch today. This is the pop-up vase and the gorgeous flowers that go with it. Absolutely brilliant products, 100 extra bonus points that you're going to get on this product if you buy this today. Becky's probably going to spend the next 2 hours clearing down, putting things away, finishing off that panel because I need it for later, please. And I hope you can join us at 6 o'clock. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time. So until then, have a lovely afternoon. Go make yourself a cup of tea. You've definitely deserved it for sticking with us and seeing that. And we've had a lovely time this afternoon. Thank you for all your comments, and I'll see you in 2 hours.